Hey guys, it's Ash, and today I'm going to share how I make over 3 million loot in just 1 hour without using any gems or boosting my barracks. Here's a quick look at my attack log from last night. I dropped down to Silver League just to do this 1 hour video. And I actually made well over 3 million. I made about 3.8 million in total resource in about 1 hour and 3 minutes. And I'll share video replays of these attacks at the end of the video. Also consider that I'm a Town Hall 10. I'm going to make this guide as short and easy as possible for you guys because it's easy. A lot of people have the misconception that you need to spend a lot of money and gems on this game to progress really fast, and I'm here to disprove that notion. I started playing this game in less than a year ago, and I've already completed my heroes to level 40, and all my walls are on the verge of being completed. Almost 100% level 11 walls, and I farmed everything in that time period. As you can see from my stats, I did not gem my base. My gold grab is over 1.8 billion and my heroic heist is about 9.5 million. So I have people who think I must play 24/7 or boost my barracks all the time, and that's not true. I have many other important things I have and like to do with my time. I actually don't boost my barracks most of the time, prefer not to boost because that allows me to multitask better and do other things, more productive things with my time. Usually the very few times you would see me boosting is if I'm either competing in a contest, live streaming, making videos, or if I have a builder who's about to be free and I'm desperately in need of faster loot. So I made this guide just to show you guys that it's possible to make a lot of loot fast without having to boost. You just need to know how to do it, and it's easy, everyone can do it. So first, for your army composition, always train BAM. Why BAM? It is the fastest to train army composition in the game, and is very effective. It only takes about 14 minutes to train a full army with BAM, while it takes about 20 minutes with Barch. So you'll be doing a lot more raids in less time, so you'll be making a lot more resources in the long run. For your first two barracks, train all barbarians. For your next two, train all archers. And for your dark elixir barracks, train minions. If you want to profit better from dark elixir, then train no more than 20 minions. You want to farm in the Silver League. Why the Silver League? You're going to find easy to raid storage bases here as well as dead bases. So it will take you less time to find a base to raid. This is because of the new matchmaking system. You'll be paired against someone close to your Town Hall level. And that's what you want, because there's no point in attacking weaker Town Halls as they won't provide with much loot because of the loot penalty. And since a large population of bad players, inactive players, and poorly rushed players reside in the Silver League, you're always gonna find good loot. Another great thing is that there's no need for trophies or winning. The best part about Silver League is that you don't need to 50% a base or get a star to maintain trophies. There's absolutely no concern for that down here, which means that once you've taken the loot, you can head out instantly without having to wait for your troops to 50% that base. Not only that, this allows you to conserve your troops as well, so you don't have to use them all, saving valuable time. So what should you target? For dead bases and collectors outside the base, you want to target at least 300,000 total resource. For storages or collectors inside the base, you want to target at least 400,000 total resource. The reason you want different targets for these two types of raids is because raiding inside a base is more difficult to do so with BAM. There's a higher chance that you may not get all the loot, and you want to minimize that probability as much as possible. Also, if you're going to go for both gold and elixir, then you need to target as a total, not separately. For example, do not search for a minimum of 150,000 gold and 150,000 elixir from a dead base. You should search for a total of at least 300,000, which means that if there's an easy base with say 100,000 gold and 300,000 elixir and you can get it all, then you should attack it. For spells, only cook rage spells or heal spells. Never use more than one spell a raid. The only time you should be using a spell is when you're penetrating inside a base with barbarians, archers, and minions, if you believe that you need it. Otherwise, you should always conserve your spells, as they take the longest to cook and also cost a good amount of elixir. Use rage spells to quickly break inside a base and at the same time remove a bunch of defenses out of the way. The best time to use a rage spell is early in the raid, when you have most of your troops alive, not when you've already lost a bunch of them, because barbarians, archers, and minions, they all perform their best in a large group. Use heal spell when you're penetrating inside a base, but there's a bunch of splash defenses. Splash defenses are mortars and wizard towers, and they are the #1 threat to BAM, other than multi-targeting infernos. Sure, troops cost elixir to make, but what's really important is that they cost time. Don't waste all your troops, only use as much as needed to get all the resource. This way you'll save time because it takes time to train troops, even if they are just barbarians and archers. So take a look as to how much camp space worth of troops I use per raid. 146, 168, 140, 174, 115, and look at all the resource I got with just that many troops. Don't wait for your camp to be full. Start searching for easy to raid bases once you have 75% of your camp full. BAM trains about 16 housing space worth of troops per minute, so if you started nexting when you had 165 troops and your camp holds a total of 220 troops, then you should expect a full army after you have nexted for about 4 minutes. Here's a chart showing you the 75% method for different camp spaces and how long it will take you for a full army. And an important thing to note is that once your camps are 100% full and you have started your search, then you must never return to your base until you have completed an attack. Otherwise, your barracks will be resetted and you will lose all the troops that were trained by them. You want to use the Archer Queen for every raid. In order to do that, you need to keep her healthy at all times. And in order to do that, you need to avoid getting her harmed. So how do I do that? Well, if you're attacking collectors outside the base, then use your Archer Queen last to clean up anything remaining. While if you're attacking the inside of a base, then first send in a swarm of barbarians, archers, and minions. You want to surround her with as many barbarians, archers, and minions as possible because they will shield her from her biggest threat, which are point defenses. Point defenses are defenses that target one troop at a time, like cannons, archer towers, Teslas, and Expos. And if your Archer Queen is getting targeted, then once she's at around 75% health, activate her ability to restore her HP, and at the same time, her ability will have the point defense target a different troop, allowing her to continue to evade attacks. The Archer Queen is a master of evasion. What do you do if she's getting targeted and you've already used up her ability and there's still a bunch of resources left? You surrender. Her health is more important than a few resources, and in order to continually use her every raid, you must keep her healthy at all times. I know when I first started using her, I kept getting her harmed, but with enough practice, I was able to master using her. Now I'm able to use her in every raid without getting her harmed. Take a look again at my attack log. I was able to keep her healthy for every raid. Also note that the Archer Queen is optional. You don't need her if you're upgrading her. She is mainly used as a last resort and should be kept healthy at all times. Having her will only make farming easier. Conserve your clan castle troops and only use them as last resort. It takes a while not only to request for troops again, but also wait for your clan castle to fill up, and that will decrease your efficiency. When attacking, clan castles have a 12 tile trigger range, so try to activate it if it's within range. If not, then you need to weigh your risk versus reward if you're attacking the inside of that base, and if the loot is worth it. There's a high probability that a weak or poorly rushed base lacks clan castle troops, while there's a high probability that a strong base or a high level clan has clan castle troops. The good thing is Silver League provides you with a lot of bad bases. Very few of them ever carry clan castle troops. So for some tips on attacking, always make sure to spread your troops. Splash defenses are the biggest threat, and the best way to counter splash defenses with BAM is to spread your troops around, to distract and avoid getting all your troops eradicated at once. Never send your archers inside a base without first sending barbarians in first. The barbarians keep archers safe by taking hits, while the archers behind them attack those defensive threats over the walls. Check for giant bombs and empty 2x2 spaces first. Giant bombs are another huge threat to barbarians and archers, so if an empty space looks fishy, make sure to test it out first before sending all your troops in on it. Don't send all your minions out at once. Send a few of them out by spreading them to check for air bombs, and then once it's safe, you can send them all in. So I really hope this guide helped and that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to definitely subscribe to my channel, as I'll be sharing a lot of amazing content on Clash of Clans strategy that you won't find anywhere else. Also, be sure to share this with your clanmates and friends. Let them know if they're struggling to make loot fast without gems. And lastly, I'm going to share some attacks that I did so you guys get a picture of how I attack. So as you can see, really poor base, really weak splash defenses. So I'm going to spread out my barbarians and archers because there are two mortars right there. So you want to definitely spread out your troops. Same thing with minions. I'm going to spread them around on these two sides so they all go straight inside that inside of the base. So as you can see, my troops are just easily taking everything, and that's because his splash defenses are weak. His wizard towers and mortars are really weak. And the reason I didn't even have to check for the clan castle is because it's a weak base. There's a very low probability that his clan castle has any troops. So yeah, that was really easy. Got all the loot, and I only used about less than 150 troops, I believe. And in the next raid, we have a Town Hall 8, and notice that I'm a Town Hall 10 player. So if a Town Hall 8 player or a Town Hall 9 player raided this base, you would have gotten double. And I only used about 140 troops worth. So yeah, if you're a Town Hall 8 and Town Hall 9, you should be making even more loot than me because of the loot penalty. Next, we have another one. Only used about 168 troops. And again, really weak base. Most of the resources right inside, so definitely always prioritize, take out the splash defenses first. I took out the wizard tower and then the mortar, and then I'm safe to send all my troops in and go straight inside that core. Once I'm inside that core, it's game over. All my troops are just gonna take everything. As you can see, easy. And there's no point in continuing. I've gotten most of the resource. If I had continued, my Arch Queen may have gotten harmed. I don't want that. I just want the loot, so I'm just gonna head out, and got about 400,000 right there in total. And lastly, let's see. Okay, against this base, Town Hall 9, you have a lot of resource on the outside. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spread out my barbarians, then send in my archers. Obviously, I only have about 140 troops. So now that I spread out all my barbarians and then archers behind them, I'm going to send in minions 2 by 2 on the collectors outside. And the reason for this is because the defenses are distracted. They're attacking the barbarians and archers, and that allows my minions to take advantage and remove the collectors fast. Minions are very underrated. They're really strong, they're fast, they can get your resource quickly. And here's a really great trick I like to use. I like to send in my clan castle troops, my barbarians and archers to distract the defenses, and then use my archer queen as a last resort to take the resource that are remaining. So you can see I've gotten that gold storage, a bunch of resource with my barbarians and archers. And that's basically how I do it. I don't even use a full army. So thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and have a nice day.